to Waiting and Later to See It. Today's episode is on finance. This is our first introductory episode on finance and what we can expect. First and foremost, we're going to discuss what is money. I know you're sitting there going, money? Well, that's that paper that I pull out of my wallet. No, that's currency. Let's go ahead and go back in time, way back to the beginning of time, when people basically grew their own food or raised their own cattle. In order to get things they didn't personally make, they would use barter. They would trade. So many cows for so much wood, so much different natural resources that they had gathered for other things. And doing so, you had a barter economy. Now, as things progressed, they needed something to make it easier versus carrying, say, 50,000 bushels of corn to sell to somebody for 30 dozen head of cattle. This is where we got gold, silver, and copper. These were items that in themselves were of value. In other words, you could use it as itself. Gold could be used as gold. You could take and make things with it. Same thing with silver, same thing with copper. This money was used to trade for other things, making it easier versus carrying, a house on your back. As our economy got more complicated, the need for this type of system became even more important. Because how do you trade, or how do you get what makes a car? Car has to have lots of parts in it, and each of those parts has a value. If I have a loaf of bread, I can't trade a loaf of bread for a car. You need what is called a medium of exchange, something that says how much the car is worth, how much the loaf of bread is worth. In today's society, we use currency. It's this piece of paper that the government says has value. Keep in mind, it only has as much value as people believe exists. And we see this whenever you look at countries and you hear of countries having to devaluate their currency because it's worth less and less and less each year. So they shrink, drop some zeros off to where it's easier, and their currency has less value. That's why some countries have more value to their currency, some less. Now, the U.S. currency, the dollar bill, used to be backed by gold, meaning that every dollar was worth X amount of gold, and you could trade it in and get the gold. This is no longer true, where again, we've gone to a fiat currency, which is a currency that is guaranteed by the government and is worth only whatever people think it's worth. This number has decreased steadily since we've gone this way. It is figured that the dollar bill has lost 97% of its value since 1913, when the Federal Reserve started printing the dollar. Now, that's a brief idea of currency versus money. Well, no, actually, that's a brief explanation of how we got to where we are today. Now, if you're looking to survive the end of times, there are going to be three ways to get things. You can barter. You can hopefully use Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that will not be affected by the government. Or you can go back to the tried and true method of gold and silver. These are your only three real options. Now, you're sitting back going, but Pat, how do I barter? Barter, again, is I've got a loaf of bread, you've got butter. Actually, I have 2 loaves of bread, and you have 2 things of butter. I'm going to trade you 1 loaf of bread for that butter. And you're going to give me the butter, I'm going to give you the loaf of bread, and we're both happy. What can you do that can help you barter for objects that you need? You can bake. You can cook. Do you know how to can? Do you know how to preserve foods? Because remember, We're no longer going to the grocery store and buying a can of Libby's or a can of Green Giant vegetables. If you know how to take fresh vegetables and can them or preserve them for the following years, that's a skill. That skill will allow you to have something to barter. Because during the end of times and during major economic issues, upsets or emergencies, food becomes one of the most key items. People will buy and sell, will trade food. Now, as you're looking at the stuff you use on a daily basis, look at it and see, well, could I do this? Could I make a can of green beans? Could I make enough cans? Well, you'd have to grow the green beans, but if you did this, do you know how to store it? Do you know how to put it up to where it can be used a couple years from now? Other things you can look at, do you know how to make a knife? Different skills are worth different values. As you are looking at the different things in your life, some things you're going to realize, no, I don't think I'd be able to do that. For example, make toilet paper. If you look at certain things, it takes an industrialized society to be able to make them. You're not going to be able to sit there up in the mountains and make toilet paper. So therefore, this would be one of those things that should be collected, hoarded, stored. Start buying an extra pallet, extra case or two of toilet paper every time you go, to where and eventually, you got a storage room full of toilet paper. Put that toilet paper out where you're going to escape to. That there becomes a currency. Bandages is another thing. Just a simple Band-Aid, a box of Band-Aids, can end up being currency during the end of times. People will need Band-Aids. They will need bandages, gauze, other items to protect themselves. You got cut. We got to be able to sew it up, seal it up, keep you from getting infected and dying. These things like that can eventually become very valuable, especially in a post-industrialized society like this. Look around and see the things that you have in your life, or that you have access to in your life, that can, number one, last, and number two, that you can't make yourself. Now, a lot of us are going to have to learn how to make things ourselves. Most of this country, now let's face it, their idea how do you make a dinner? You go to McDonald's or some other fast food place or some restaurant. You buy your food, you sit down, you eat it, they take care of the rest. No McDonald's in the mountain. You need to learn to cook. Being able to cook, especially over a campfire, is a skill. It's an art form. This is, again, something you need to start looking at, possibly learning how to do now. Especially if you can take that cooking and possibly turn that into something you can make and barter with. Loaves of bread. I've used it as an example all the way through this discussion, and in most discussions on economics, it is one of the key things that is mentioned, because bread is a primary staple. If you got a loaf of bread and a piece of meat, you have a sandwich. If you can make bread on a campfire or out in the middle of the wilderness, then you're going to get by. So, if you learn how to do these things now, before your life doesn't depend on it, then you're at one step further ahead. Going back to finances, as you are preparing and you're looking at things that you can save up and to barter, you're basically investing in toilet paper. But instead of investing in their stock, you're going to invest in their products. You're going to buy toilet paper. You're going to buy things that you cannot make that an industrialized society makes and doesn't even think about. Other things that would be worth hoarding, as they call it, canned foods of all types. Start stocking up on canned foods. All of these things will be worth something. They can be traded. After your canned foods, what else can we stockpile? How else can we start preparing for the end times? And that goes back, that's going to lead us right back into the idea of money. Gold and silver. Gold and silver always have value. No matter what happens in this world, people will want gold and silver. Number one, because it's movable. You put a gold coin in your pocket, you walk, drive, fly 1,000, 2,000 miles away, you pull that gold coin out, it has value no matter where you are. Somebody will always want to buy that gold from you, and they would be willing to trade for gold and trade for silver. Another thing, cryptocurrencies. Right now, one of the most popular ones is Bitcoin. Now, I and my family have gone into a process through a company called PGI International, and we're going to start giving you an update to show that as this progresses, so that you will see every week exactly what this block that we purchased is worth and how it's doing. That way, when the time frame is done, you'll know without any questions exactly what is it worth it for you. I don't know yet. I haven't fully gone through the whole time frame, and in a later episode I'm going to actually break down and explain exactly what this is and what this program is about, that program is about, and how you can get into it. But first, I want to show you that it works. I've told you that on this show, I will not tell you things that I'm not reasonably confident work. Gold and silver always work. You will see a link on our finance page within the next week or so for carat bars. Why am I talking about carat bars? Because that's gold. You buy grams of gold at a time. You buy enough grams, that's worth an ounce. So many grams to an ounce, so many ounces to a pound. This is investing in your future currency. And it is investing in your present currency, because the last time I checked, an ounce of gold is worth $3,600. So as you're building an investment. In today's economy, well, today's economy is scared. People are worried. With a new president, one who believes in spending the way Joseph Biden seems to want to spend, the economy is going to start being very volatile, which means that the odds are that gold is going to go up again, and it's going to keep going up. Gold always goes up at times of uncertainty. So as the world goes nuts, the value of what you have will increase. But I know you're sitting there going, AT, I don't have the money to go out and buy an ounce of gold. No, neither do I. Invest, build your money up, find ways to make money. And that's what PGI is. That's what everything that we're going to discuss on the finance side, on how you can generate money so that you can, generate currency so that you can buy money and buy things that will have long-term value. I will also be linking in here several different things on explanations of monetary theory, classes that can help you understand money and finances, and links to other people whose ministry is all about how to help you pay for what is necessary in your life. Not to where you become a servant of the dollar, but how to get freed from the dollar. So as you're sitting back this week and you're thinking about these, if you have questions, please don't hesitate again to email us. And once again, please like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Tell your friends all about it. Tell your friends about this, about this channel, so that we can help make it grow. So that and by the way, each and every time you do, this helps us out. Not a lot, but it's some. And any amount is good. If you want $1, if you have $1 in your pocket and you're sitting back going, I'd like to give this to you, meaning to me, and to this ministry. If you go on our website, you'll find several ways to where you can directly donate. You may also donate through this channel. Now, this channel is located right now on YouTube and on BitChute, but there are more. We will be opening up other platforms as quick as we can, so that you can find different ways to donate towards us. How much can you donate? Whatever you want. You don't have the money, and I understand that feeling, that you'd like to help but you can't because you don't have money right now. Share the video. Get your friends, get your family members all to subscribe, and all of this helps us out. All of these combined together, and you are contributing. If you want to help even more, go to the website waitinginlaodicea.weebly.com. On that website you'll find our email address, where you can reach us, how you can talk to us. It's real simple. waitinginlaodicea.gmail.com. Write us. How can you help? And we'll give you ideas on things that you might possibly be able to do that could help us. There's lots of things we need. There's lots of things that anybody and everybody can help. Please remember us. Tell your friends. Tell those people at church that go with you. Tell the people at work that work with you. All of this is not designed for me to get rich. All of this is designed for you to be able to be prepared for the end of times and any other major disaster that approaches. So, at this point, I'd like to thank you all once again for joining us on Waiting in Laodicea. Hope you have a blessed and wonderful weekend. And remember, tomorrow's Sunday. Don't forget to go to church.